Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Tip Tuesday. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Katie. Welcome back, everyone.
Yes. So today we are going to talk about something that we've talked about a couple of times, Ryan. We often will mention it here and there on our monthly market update podcast, and that is the 2-1 buy down. So this is a little louder for those in the back that still haven't learned about this program yet and how it can really benefit you in this higher rate environment. I'm still hearing the chatter here and there, especially on social media. Gosh, I'd love to buy, but the rates are too high. So let's talk about the 2-1 buy down, Ryan. And we're still seeing sellers pay for this, by the way. P.S.
We very much are. Yes, I love this topic. I'm so glad we're talking about it. Because there's not just one rate that's available to you.
Right.
Typically when you get quoted a mortgage rate, you're quoted what's called a par rate. And that basically means that there's no extra cost for that mortgage rate. But, you can pay extra closing costs called buy down points to lower this par rate. Now, there's two types of interest rate buy downs available. One is a permanent buy down, or there's the temporary buy down, the 2-1 buy down that we're discussing today. So a permanent buy down is when you pay extra fees to lower your mortgage rate, and it's that rate for the entire term of the loan, a 30-year fix, 20, 15. But, the buyer and even the seller could cover this buy down. But these haven't been as popular lately as interest rates, they have been dropping. And, you could pay money to do a permanent buy down only to have rates improve over the next year or two. And you could have just refinanced to get that same rate at no extra cost. So it's there's risk to that permanent buy down in a lowering rate environment that we're in right now. So the other option, the one that's been really popular now, is the temporary buy down. Now it's called a 3-2-1 or a 2-1, which is the most popular, or a 1-0 buy down. So these are temporary, which means, for example, on the 2-1 buy down, for the first year, your rate is 2% less than the current market. Wow. Second year, it's 1% less. And then after that, you really have the market rate that you closed on for the rest of the term. Now, these buy downs, like you kind of said, Katie, they have to be paid for by the seller. So you need to ask for enough seller paid closing costs to cover this. Mm-hmm. So when you're making an offer, you need to consult with Katie and her team to really negotiate for the seller to cover the cost to make sure that you could afford these. But it's a great option to really have a discounted rate for the first few years of your mortgage. And really, as we see rates drop, look to maybe refinancing before it gets resets to where the current market is right now. So it's a much more popular option than the permanent buy down because rates are dropping. So, it's something we always like to discuss with our clients, especially, since we're seeing some areas, it's more of a buyer's market and you can get these seller concessions, and it's a great way to use them to lower your payment.
100%. And I am still seeing so many loans close, or so many properties close, transactions close, I should say, with seller paid concessions. Like the percentages are still extremely high across the valley. And like you mentioned, it's definitely really strong in the buyers markets, right? Because we do have a couple of sellers markets around the valley. If you guys listened to our last update, then you'll know that. But we are still seeing it very, very strong. So this is definitely something on the buyer side that I would, obviously it always depends on the details of the situation, but I often encourage our buyers to attempt to negotiate for that. It's very helpful.
Oh, it's a great thing to consider. Absolutely. So we always like discussing it, especially if you find that right house and concessions are available. It's a great thing to use them on.
Totally agree. All right, Ryan, thank you again so much for being here with us. And guys, if you want to check out any of our previous episodes, hop on over to our YouTube channel. It is at Team EvoAZ. Scroll down just a little ways on that homepage. You will see the Real Estate Tip Tuesday playlist. That's where all of these little short tips exist. So check them out there or on your favorite podcast platform. Do a quick search for Arizona Real Estate Radio. There you'll find us. Like, click the bell, download, rate us even. That would be fun. Please do us a favor. And you will never miss an episode. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Looking for the right home loan can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Hi, I'm Ryan Gilliam, an Arizona native with 20 years of experience helping families find the best mortgage solution for their needs. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or refinancing, I make the process simple, stress-free, and tailored just for you. I help you access better rates, offer guidance tailored to your goals, and make the mortgage approval process easier every step of the way. Your best mortgage starts with the right partner. Let's make your home goals happen. Reach out today.